Let us take a moment to really unpack what is being reported here, because beneath the noise, the outrage, and the deliberately crude comments being amplified, there is actually a very clear and very human story unfolding about Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, and the lengths they go to in order to protect their family. Sky News viewers reacting angrily to the mere suggestion that Meghan might return to the UK after 4 years tells us far more about the media environment than it does about Meghan herself. The idea that a woman planning to attend an international sporting event for wounded veterans can spark such aggressive responses should give anyone pause. Meghan Markle is reportedly considering returning to Britain to support the one-year countdown to the 2027 Invictus Games in Birmingham. Not for a royal spectacle, not for personal publicity, but for Invictus, a project that Prince Harry founded and has dedicated over a decade of his life to. A project that has helped transform the lives of injured service members across the world. Yet somehow that context is stripped away in favour of outrage bait. The reporting makes it very clear that this potential visit hinges entirely on one thing: security, not ego, not entitlement, not attention, safety. Meghan has not set foot in the UK since September 2022, when she attended Queen Elizabeth II's funeral under extraordinary circumstances. That was not a celebratory visit. It was not an easy visit. It was a moment of mourning, tension, and scrutiny on a global scale. Anyone pretending that Meghan has been eagerly itching to return to hostile ground is not engaging with reality. The response from certain Sky News Australia viewers was predictably coarse and dismissive. Comments like "nobody cares" and "who gives a damn" were rushed into circulation as though they represented some universal truth. In reality, they represent a very loud minority that thrives on outrage and exhaustion. One comment complained that Meghan's potential visit was just another piece of bad news in an already difficult year. That framing is telling. A woman attending a veterans event is framed as bad news, not because of what she is doing, but because of who she is. Another group of commenters even begged the media to stop reporting on Meghan and Harry altogether. Yet those same outlets continue to publish multiple articles about them daily. That contradiction highlights the real issue. The anger is not about coverage existing. It is about Meghan existing in public life on her own terms. What often gets ignored in these conversations is how little Meghan has actually been present in the UK over the last 4 years. She did not pop in and out. She did not seek engagements. She stepped away entirely. That was the boundary she and Harry set to protect themselves and their children. The couple left the UK under strained circumstances, yes, but it is important to remember why. They stepped down from royal duties after years of relentless pressure, invasive coverage, and a complete lack of institutional protection. That decision was not impulsive. It was the result of prolonged stress and fear, much of it documented in real time. Since then, Harry has returned to the UK only a handful of times. Even those visits have been tightly controlled and emotionally complex. His most recent visit involved a private meeting with his father, King Charles, at Clarence House. Not a public reunion, not a photo opportunity, a quiet personal meeting. And now we come to the issue that sits at the centre of all of this: security. Prince Harry has been very consistent on this point. He does not feel it is safe to bring his family to the UK without proper protection. This is not hypothetical fear. Harry grew up under constant threat. He lost his mother in circumstances tied directly to media pursuit and lack of adequate protection. That history does not disappear simply because people are tired of hearing about it. Harry fought a legal battle to have his UK security reinstated after it was automatically removed when he stepped back as a working royal. He lost that case in May. After that loss, instead of giving up, he formally wrote to the Home Secretary requesting a review. That alone should tell you how serious this issue is for him. In December, a new risk assessment was requested to be carried out by the Royal and VIP Executive Committee. This was not a favour. It was a recognition that threat levels change and must be reassessed professionally. Reports now suggest that Harry may have made progress in that fight, which is why sources say he is hopeful Meghan will join him at the Invictus Countdown event on July 10th. Hopeful, not demanding, not assuming. Hopeful. That distinction matters. Meghan's willingness to return, even conditionally, should not be underestimated. The UK has not been kind to her. The public booing, the hostile headlines, the racy undertones, and the constant character assassination are not figments of imagination. They are documented. Yet, despite all of that, she is reportedly prepared to step back onto British soil to support her husband and the Invictus community, provided that basic safety requirements are met. That is not control. That is courage. It is also important to note that there is no confirmation yet on whether Archie and Lilibet would accompany their parents, and that uncertainty is completely reasonable. These are young children who have never lived in the UK. Their parents have a responsibility to consider schooling, routine, emotional stability, and security. Harry and Meghan have been criticised endlessly for being too protective, yet when they exercise caution, they are accused of manipulation or drama. The goalposts are constantly moved. What is striking is how rarely the conversation centres on Invictus itself. This is an international event celebrating resilience, recovery and service. It is something Britain has proudly hosted before. It is something Harry built from the ground up. Meghan has supported it quietly and consistently. But instead of focusing on that, the media chooses to spotlight angry comments and profanity from viewers thousands of miles away, as though those reactions somehow outweigh the significance of the event. The outrage cycle is predictable. Meghan's name appears. The comments flood in, context is stripped, humanity is ignored, yet the facts remain unchanged. Meghan has stayed away for 4 years. Harry has returned sparingly. Security has been the deciding factor every time. The children have been kept out of the spotlight. Boundaries have been enforced. None of this points to attention-seeking behaviour. It points to a couple who learned the hard way what happens when safety is compromised. There is also something deeply ironic about people shouting that nobody cares while simultaneously clicking, commenting and engaging with every article. The obsession is not coming from Harry and Meghan. It is coming from the ecosystem that profits from keeping their names controversial. If Meghan does return this summer, it will not be a victory lap. It will be a carefully planned, security-dependent appearance tied to a cause that matters deeply to her husband. It will likely be brief, controlled, and focused. And if she does not return, that decision will be respected within their family, regardless of how loudly certain corners of the internet complain. At the heart of this story is a simple truth. Harry and Meghan prioritise safety, family and purpose. Everything else is noise. The fact that this is still framed as controversial says far more about the media and its audience than it does about the Duchess of Sussex. Because at the end of the day, a woman considering whether it is safe enough to stand beside her husband at a veterans event should never be treated as breaking news, let alone bad news. And yet, here we are.